Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Movie Related. Today, you know what? The other day, Paul calls me up and he says, I'm really, really bored. I'm really, really bored. Give me something to watch because I need to watch something and I'm bored. There's nothing new out there. But I did read a headline that this movie is getting a sequel. It's going into production. And quite frankly, I've never seen it. I know these guys have never saw it. We're talking Don't Breathe. 2016? 5 years old. Everybody was talking about it. And we never saw it. So first time viewing, we'll tell you what we think because the sequel's coming out. All right, Paul, why don't you give us a quick synopsis of this film?
Okay, so it has nobody that I know in it.
No, it's all...
Directed by nobody I know.
B actors.
Apparently, he was the Evil Dead guy who directed that movie.
Well, I knew Stephen Lang, who plays the old blind guy in this one.
Okay, good. That's good.
He was up for Cable, by the way, for Deadpool.
He would have made a good Cable.
Yeah.
The other ones are Jane Levy, Dylan Minnette, Daniel Zovatto.
Top of the list.
And director Fede Alvarez.
Top of the list.
Yeah, so...
That's it. They didn't do a bad job. Like, they weren't, like, actors. They didn't do a bad job.
Synopsis.
Yeah, okay.
synopsis.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have these three kids. One looks like a burnout loser, got tattoos, and his name is Money. and the girl, Rocky, she's just a normal girl, but she's living in a situation where her mom is a junkie and dating these boyfriends. She has a daughter, and she wants to give her daughter a better life.
Is that a daughter or a little sister? I couldn't tell.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was a little sister.
Okay, somebody that she loves.
Yeah.
And then there's a boy, Alex, and he's in with the trio because he has this friend zone crush on Rocky. So they use Alex's father's security keys from a security company to break into houses, rob them, and then take off and make it look like it was a burglary. They want one final score so that they can move out of this bum town that they live in.
They want to move to California or something.
Yeah, they want to go to California, start a new life. And this is the one big score because the guy who lives in the house that they're going to rob just got a settlement for $100,000 or something like that.
Well, they thought it was like $300,000, but it was into the millions or something.
So they're expecting money to be in there, and they're going to break in, and that's where we start the movie.
There you go. Okay. Right off the bat, I don't like the characters. Like, they don't inspire you to say, these are nice guys. I'm rooting. They're thieves. Yeah. They are breaking into people's houses for a living. They're ripping off his father's security company illegally and getting him involved in it. They are not nice people.
However, at least for Rocky's character, you can see that she's doing it to get out of a very horrible situation. Yeah, for her little sister or daughter or whatever.
I can watch the news for the next guy who wins the lottery, go to their house, hold their family captive with a gun because I'm hoping to do better in my life and move to California, everybody. That doesn't hold what. It's not really, I wish my life was better, so I'm going to hurt other people.
Yeah,
that doesn't work.
They were not sympathetic characters.
No, not sympathetic
Desperation.
Characters. Yes.
Desperation.
Yes. I'll give you desperation. I don't even think... Did they look desperate? They're well dressed. They're doing good.
I think Money needed a new tattoo.
Okay, so yes, they do break into people's houses, but they had rules, right? They had rules that they couldn't steal cash.
Over $10,000?
Over $10,000. Like, they had rules because these are things that are actual felonies that will land you in prison and hard time. Yeah. So they had these rules, and for this one score, they had to break those rules.
Yeah. But it wasn't rules, you know what, we're not going to rip off these people if they're doing that. No. It's rules that we won't get in as much trouble if we're caught kind of rules. Right. So they're still not sympathetic, really.
But sort of a smart way to plan for as far as a criminal goes.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to murder somebody, I'd rather have him have the gun.
You hold it.
Because then I'm just an accessory.
Now, Alex did not want to do this one.
That's right.
He thought that, no, this is completely wrong. We're going to get in too much trouble. let's skip this. It's not worth it. But because of his crush on Rocky, who put a little guilt trip on him, he went along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things go badly very quickly.
So they break into a blind guy's place.
Yeah.
Right. So let's move into that. He can't see. They were very loud breaking in. Did anybody else feel that way? Like when they were smashing windows to get in?
He was blind.
Don't you know when you're blind, you can't hear neither.
Right,
But yeah, it turns badly very quickly. One guy immediately gets shot. And now the other two...
So are we doing like complete spoilers?
Well, it's a 5-year-old movie. I think so.
Yeah,
I
but
think we're okay with
other
this.
people who haven't seen it may want to go into
Well, we won't
this.
go into the ending. But he gets shot at the beginning of the film. It's not a surprise.
Yeah, well, now they know.
There you go. He gets shot.
People do die.
The rest of the film is basically them trying to get out of the house.
And he has it locked up pretty tight.
Yeah, and he has the gun now that one of the people brought. Money brought a gun.
Right.
Now, the thing is that, yeah, this is a blind guy, but this is a blind guy with a certain set of skills.
Yeah. And a huge dog,
Right.
by the way, as well. There are... Now everybody was raving about this film because it was kind of unique. It kind of was. It was like the one that you didn't like, The Quiet Place.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that where you're kind of... Don't make a noise. And they're...
Yeah, the title is Don't Breathe, and there were lots of places in this movie where if the character breathed, they were going to die.
Yes.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the blind guy all of a sudden had super senses that, there... He hears a noise, boom, he hits the can that made the noise. Or no, he just randomly fires in that direction, which I did like.
And you've got to know that if, he hears a creak in the floor, like... He's a blind guy. He lives there. He knows where every creak in the floor is. So you're going to step on that creak. He knows exactly where you are.
I didn't find any of this was contrived.
No.
I thought everything happened the way it would probably happen.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of suspense and tension. And all the way through you're thinking, wait a second. Like, I'm cheering for the bad guys, and I'm rooting against the guy that's being robbed.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that weird how that works?
Yeah. However, we're not going to give away the ending and everything like this, but there's a real good reason why we shouldn't like this guy in the house.
Yeah.
At some point. The ending, myself, I didn't like once you're outside, the whole I'm blind thing, the sensory thing goes away, right?
not really. Who cares if he's outside? He's blind. It doesn't matter.
No, I mean to get away from him.
Yeah, but that's why he has that nice dog.
Which, again, the dog is... we can't spoil it. I can't spoil it. But, I mean, how does she get that thing on the dog when the dog is, like, at her throat? It didn't make sense to me. That part I did not like. Because the rest of the movie seemed pretty really realistic. I know if I'd have done what she did, my arm would have been being like this in the dog's mouth. So, yeah. But...
Just to tell you how much people like this movie, it was a budget of $15,000.
What?
No, 15 million. Sorry,
yeah.
15 million. It made over 140 million
Wow.
for a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's why it's getting its sequel, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's no supernatural. It's just regular people in a house with tension.
I
And the most abandoned neighborhood in the United States.
Apparently, it's a real place in Detroit.
Yeah, that I can believe.
You think they did it up for the film? No, a real place.
wow.
But everything inside the house was filmed in Hungary for some reason.
Really?
Because 15 million goes a long way in Hungary, apparently.
Yes.
Maybe.
I don't know. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed watching the movie. I was.
I don't watch horror movies because I think they all suck.
I wouldn't
now.
even call this a horror movie. This was
No.
more of a suspense, but
But
it was good.
It's close, and I really enjoyed it.
It did have some jump scares in it, a few places, but jump
didn't
scares
rely on it.
No, a couple were obviously put in, like the very first time they show up at the house, jump scare. It wasn't even the guy; it was something else.
Like when we discovered what he had going on in his basement was jaw dropping. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that caught everybody off guard, and then the disgusting part of it people hated it, but they were intrigued. They wanted to watch.
Right,
They
like a
wanted to see
train
more.
wreck that you just can't look away from.
Yeah. So there you go. Don't Breathe. It's getting a sequel. Would you say watch it if you haven't seen it?
Yeah, it was good.
What do you give it out of 10?
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
7s across the board. Definitely worth a watch. And hey, for a movie that you were just bored and you said, hey, pick a movie for me, not a bad choice, huh?
It turned out well.
Not a bad choice.
Could have gone badly.
Could have, but it didn't.
But it didn't.
Good choice by Don. So check it out. Have you seen Don't Breathe? I don't know what they're going to do with a sequel. I don't know at all.
I don't know that it needs a sequel.
Nothing needs a sequel, but we get them if they made money. And this made, what, more than 10 times its budget. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's getting a sequel. Well, let us know in the comments down below. Did you see it? What did you think of it? And if not, check it out. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.